corruption has become part of us. It has become our culture. Corruption is stalking us. There is don't let anybody not deceive you. Nigeria is no longer fighting corruption. In fact, we see it as a way of life now. If you are not corrupt, you are odd. You are seen as the odd man out. So let nobody deceive you that anybody is fighting corruption in Nigeria. Every aspect of our life, every aspect, we are all corrupt now.
The government has several agencies in place to deal with corruption. We have the EFCC, we have the ICPC, the Nigerian police has the anti-corruption arm, we have the Bureau for Public Procurement. We have a series of agencies to vet the issue of procurement, purchase, money laundering, loads of acts. Are these not being implemented? Or
those are just agencies, anti-corruption agencies in name. I'm sufficiently informed and equipped to know that there is nothing like that in Nigeria now. You know, there is something called crime and punishment. Tell me, how many big Nigerians has been jailed of recent? How many big Nigerians has been arrested and punished of recent? So if you don't do that, so what is the fight against corruption about? Money are being stolen everywhere. People are doing all kinds of deals that are illegal, that are corrupt, that can destroy the country. In all the agencies in Nigeria, in all the ministry and departments, in all the arms of government, corruption is pervasive. So nobody's right. There was a pretense under Obasanjo. You could see one big man or the other be taken to court and then jailed, and then maybe a few months or a few months after they are released. But that is not happening again. Don't let anybody deceive you, honestly. And this thing called corruption will kill all of us. You could see what damages are done to the army, to the military. So that soldiers are running away to Cameroon, soldiers are abandoning their duty posts, soldiers are throwing stones at their commander. No agency in this country, there's nobody that is ensconced from corruption anymore. Everybody is involved. Judges, lawmakers, soldiers, pastors, bishops, all aspects of our life. And that is going to be our undoing. It's a cancer that will kill this country, I tell you that.
Matter of fact, part of the ICPC Act empowers the chairman to invite anybody to explain the source of his wealth if, in the opinion of the chairman, it is not in consonance with his earnings or his circumstances in life. You could be in public office and you own properties far in excess of what the public office can earn you. But I have to also take into consideration your family background. Maybe your father or your mother was one of those mentioned in Forbes magazine as one of the richest in the world. That you still have to explain and prove to us. So under the EFCC Act, they would be interested in you to discount that your source of wealth is not from money laundering or from drug trafficking. And there's another agency of government, the Nigerian Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, that would also be very interested in the source of funding, because you see, in money laundering you have layering. People can bring back such monies and invest in businesses. So we're interested in all these things.
Does the law require that public office holders declare their assets?
Yes, like
assuming office.
Yes, that's what I told you when we started. As soon as you get into public office, the first thing you do is the declaration. And it is not just the declaration, you have to take it to the court and have that sworn before a judge.
You get to the churches, you get to the mosque, you get to the traditional institution, those that are being given recognition with chieftaincy title or high vaulting post they will discover that in one way or the other, they are not living within their income. And nobody is asking questions. So when it becomes all ramifying, then there is need for us to sit down and say, yes, we want to get this thing down. So by not doing enough with those agencies you refer to, it's like we are just throwing money, what is being budgeted year in, year out. It's just being thrown at the problem without solving the problem. So we either provide adequate funding and then get the causative addressed before we start treating the symptoms, then the better for us. The insatiable appetite of every human being is established in economics. But we should be able to prioritize our need and learn to live within our income. Then, redistribution of our resources. A situation whereby 1% of the society is cornering close to 80% of the national resources. Then, we can't talk of egalitarian society. And the effect is the have-nots will not give respite to those that have.
There are things people are doing in this country that, you know, ordinarily in a society, we should have multiplied our prisons 10 times. Because most Nigerians should end up in prison for everything we do. In our little ways, in our, you know, in our different, in the way we live, even from issue of a driver's license to issue of completing forms and giving false information. You know, every day, you know, people do things that they ought not to have done, that could not be done in sane societies, you know. That's why you have a building collapsing and killing more than 115 people, and the president is going to visit the man who committed the crime, the man who refused to obtain approval for such a building, a man who ought to be in jail now.
If you want to come and do business in Nigeria, you get in contact with ICPC, give me the potential areas you want to do your business and the persons you want to do business with. We'll run a check for you and do a corruption risk assessment and give you a report. And I can tell you that if the persons who were to do business with you had other intentions, the moment we get involved, they will either pull out of that business or stay on the straight line. Part of the problem is Nigerians always say, I don't want to put him in trouble. I don't want to put the person in trouble. So who is going to clean your country for you? You come, there's a public officer who is demanding bribes from you. Call ICPC, and if we don't react, don't have faith.